Good afternoon, Spurs fans everywhere, or good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching. This is Thfc Till I Die, the home of Spurs, past, present, and we don't know quite what sort of a future we're going to have yet, but we're working on it. Welcome to Around the Grounds. This is kind of a thing we do occasionally on a Saturday where we watch the Premiership and other leagues, see how other teams are getting on. And I will know in about 2 minutes' time whether I've actually got a live stream for the Aston Villa vs Tottenham game. So I'll be able to watch that, hopefully. I don't know just yet, but I'm working on it. I just say I'm just after watching a very entertaining match between Leeds United and Newcastle, which ended up in a 2-2 draw, which means it looks like our game with Leeds in 2 weeks' time is going to be a cracker because they probably will need points to stay up, and we may need points to get into Europe. And I'll tell you one thing: it'll be no easy place to go because they are not a bad side when the chips are down. Leeds, the crowd gets behind them, and they were down and out at 2-1 down today, and they came back and were well worth their point in the end. Anyway, just to say hello to a few new people. It's lovely to see we have a new member of the channel, Ole Sunderland, or Soderland. Big Ole, you're very welcome. Or Ole, we'll probably end up calling you Ole, but Ole, you're very welcome, and I hope you enjoy what you see. And Ellie is in the house. Ellie, how are you? It's you saying thanks so very much, Ole. Much appreciated. And Carl Simpson is saying, I beg you, Spurs, realise if we beat Villa today, we'll get some form of Europe as we'll be 6 points ahead of them with a better goal difference. Yeah, I was saying that last night. I mean, this is a very important game for us today. If we win today, it puts a little bit of daylight between us. Like, okay, it might only be the conference that we get, but at least we'll be pretty much guaranteed Europe, you know? Mia is saying, big up, Phil. Hi, Mia. How you doing? And Ellie again. Looking after Theo, but we're looking on here as normal. God, you'll be a registered nurse soon, Ellie. I'm sure he's getting great care and attention. And Shamu Van, hi Shamu, how are you? All the way from New Zealand, where it must be about 1 o'clock in the morning or thereabouts. Good to see Basuma on the bench. Yeah, he was actually on the bench last week, and it kind of slipped my memory that he was there. But he wasn't used, so he's back on it today. So good to have a bit more cover in midfield. So that's where we're going at the minute. I'm just still waiting to see whether I have my match or not. It's I won't even tell you how I managed to get this, but let's just say it's not strictly legal. But anyway, yeah, today now with all the talk about the manager and the not manager and Nagelsmann not coming and whatever, it's been a pretty depressing 24 hours for Spurs fans, to be honest. I mean, the club's saying they never talked to Nagelsmann, and doesn't seem that way from everything else we're reading, but it just depends what your class is talking to. You know, whether talking to his representatives, not to him directly. So I just don't know what's going to happen, you know. And it's the longer it drags on, the worse it's going to get, and the more frustrated we're going to get. And we are very frustrated at the moment. So we are. And let me just see. Shamu was saying it's 1:52 a.m. Well, I'll tell you that's what I call a Spurs fan. Staying up until nearly 2 a.m. It'll be nearly 4 a.m. in the morning before this game is over. Like unless you've headed to bed early at some stage during the match. I hope you don't have to. And Ellie saying again, the Godfather's in the house. Yeah. Dermot will be along in a minute. He's just slightly delayed. And anyway, we can. I'm just as well. I'm watching this game on silent because it looks to me. Yes, it is a Spurs game. I will get to see it. It looks to me as if the commentary is in Chinese or something like that. So I'm watching the Villa team on the TV here, and on one side of the screen it's all Chinese or maybe Korean lettering, and the other side it's in English. So yes, anyway. But it is going to be a tough game today for us. It's good to see. It looks like we're going to play a back four. It looks that way anyway. We'll never know. And just as I say that, my picture has frozen, and that's just perfect. And we wait and see that might come back or not. Yeah, Carl Simpson saying Shamu might be able to go to sleep after 20 minutes. Well, I hope we're not 5-0 down after 20 minutes. That's going to be the thing, you know. But we'll have to wait and see. And Carl Shamu says here's hoping, Carl. Now somehow I don't think we will be, but anyway, Dermot I think is about to join us.
Hello, everybody. Yeah.
There you are. Sorry, I knocked you out there. Dermot, can you just take over for 1 second? I just want to try and refresh my TV here and see if I can actually get this picture.
Yeah, of course I can.
Yep.
Look, we've had a lot of news in the last 24 hours with the manager and what we're doing, where we're going, where we're going, who we're going to see. I think it's a total debacle. I'd love to get Philip's views on it as well. But for me, it's a total, absolute debacle. And I think if this is the way Tottenham's going to go, I fear for next season, because whoever we get in, it's not going to be as good as we could have got with Nagelsmann. I think Levy's completely shot himself in the foot with this. They're saying they haven't talked to him. People are saying they have talked to him. I know Philip went over this last night. It's just a total debacle, isn't it, Philip? It's an absolute debacle.
It's not a debacle yet, Dermot. It may well be. It may well turn into one. But at the moment, we're still in the season. It's next season we need to worry about. So as long as the appointment is made right at the end of this season and gives a proper pre-season, then it won't be a debacle. Now, depending if we appoint Brendan Rodgers, yes, that will be a debacle. But I don't see that. The Nagelsmann thing is really confusing me. I just don't know who to believe on that. I still think that it would be very foolish to say they haven't talked to him if they had, because it's going to come out they did anyway. So I'm giving them a pass on that one. But it's who we get. Arne Slot seems to have moved into pole position now, as well as the guy from Glasner from Frankfurt. You know, now they're both good managers. I mean, look what Arne Slot's done with Feyenoord. They're walking away with the Dutch league this year. So I wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind him at all. It's only if we start going down a level, the Brendan Rodgers level, that's when I will be concerned. You know, but any of the guys that have been mentioned, like Luis Enrique or Xavi Alonso or Glasner or Slot, they would be okay. And even Postecoglou, who I know they got hammered today by Rangers, it didn't really matter, but you know.
A loss to Rangers is a loss to Rangers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like the Celtic players, like they didn't really. Well, I think they were still partying from last week. Now, to be honest with you, you know.
But I'm sorry, Philip. You dare not lose to Rangers. You know that.
Oh, listen, I know that. But let's just say, if they could ever afford to lose a game to Rangers, it was today.
It was today.
Because
I would agree with you
if that had been different, if they didn't need to win at Rangers today to win the title, you would have got a totally different Celtic team turning up, you know.
What do you think to the lineup, Philip? To the Spurs lineup?
It's pretty much the same as last week, isn't it? As far as I can gather.
It is. I think that what they're playing a 4-4-2 and then a 4-4-2 in possession and a 3-4-3 out of possession.
3-4-3 we're out of possession, yeah. Because Villa are going to come at us from the start, as we all know, you know. It's gas. Every other Premiership game I've got on my TV, it shows the teams in the tunnel. And for Aston Villa versus Tottenham, it's saying coverage will start shortly.
Anyway, our Luton team are playing Sunderland tonight, Philip, in the playoffs, of course.
Oh, yes, I'm going to look at that. I watched the playoff last night, and I could not believe my eyes what I was watching.
What, Peterborough?
Sheffield Wednesday, who was 19 points ahead of Peterborough, got hammered 4-0.
Yeah.
And Peterborough could have had 7 or 8. It was unbelievable.
I think Peterborough have reached that final, I think, somehow. Not in the Sheffield United.
There's a video on TV, on TikTok today, of a Sheffield Wednesday fan with his ticket for the return, just tearing it up on live on TV. That was hilarious.
Oh, dear. I know. Look, my stepfather, may rest in peace, was a massive Sheffield Wednesday fan. He was from Sheffield anyway. He was a massive Sheffield Wednesday fan. And I always tend to look out for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
and I was always hoping,
they're a big team. They shouldn't be where they are. They shouldn't be where they are, you know.
No, we remember them in the Premier League as well under Trevor Francis and team managers like that over the years. Carl Simpson says they spoke to Nagelsmann. I would imagine he pulled out last night. I think it was over transfers.
Will we ever know? Will we ever know? Maybe Nagelsmann, more or less, without really talking to the Spurs, told them he wasn't interested. That's possible as well, you know. They might have heard they were going to talk to him and said, "No, don't bother. I don't want to talk to you."
Man United have just taken the lead against Schalke in the Bundesliga, and Frankfurt as well have taken.
Man United?
No, Bayern Munich.
Man United.
No, Bayern Munich.
Oh, right,
and Frankfurt have taken the lead as well in their game against Mainz. Thomas Muller, after 21 minutes for Bayern Munich.
He's leaving Bayern Munich. He's leaving Munich at the end of the season. He'd be a good. I wouldn't mind taking him on for a season now.
No, I wouldn't.
Would you not? I think he's a great player.
Yeah, Shamusa's coaches and teams are on the pitch at the moment, Phil. So
yeah, I am. Yeah, I don't know whether it's coming or not. He'll have to wait and see. They're doing the studio now, talking about
somebody's just said to me, Dyer's not even in the squad.
Oh, that's right. He's not on the bench. Yeah,
no,
he's not on the bench. Yeah. No, that because I don't know who's replaced him on the bench now.
Well, I got the bench there, Philip. It's Austin, Sanchez, Perisic, Bazuma, Craig. So it must be Craig.
Yeah, one of the Craig.
There was talk about him being brought in actually to the game today.
Yeah, it's one of the twins.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh dear, pardon me. I've got cold and chest infection. I feel like shit today.
Oh dear.
I really do. So
right, the game has started, and I don't know whether I've got a picture or not. I've got 5 pictures on the screen.
Yeah.
5 matches.
Who's this Craig Lag? He's from the youth team. He was
he's a twin. There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bayern Munich have got a second one now. They've gone 2-0 up now against Shakhtar.
Okay.
Shakhtar. So they're doing quite well.
Aren't they?
Lazio drew most of the games like for. What did you think of the Milan derby during the week, Philip?
What did I think of the Milan derby? I didn't see. I saw the first half of it, and my first impression was, how the hell did we ever lose to that AC Milan crowd? Because they hadn't a clue, basically.
I know.
They were brutal.
I know.
You know? But that's the way it goes, you know. You can't win them all.
No, you can't. Did you say we had a new member as well, Philip?
Yes, we have. I'll just go back and give you his name now. It's
I did. It hasn't come up on my other screen I've got for coming up.
Yeah, it's Ole Suderlund. I take it he's from the Scandinavia with a name like that.
Yeah.
It's O-double-L-E, so no doubt we know him as Ollie.
Yeah, big up Ollie, and welcome to the channel, and thank you so much for that. I think you picked the Harry Kane membership, so big up. We'll have to change that if Harry leaves. The other games today in the Premiership, Philip, you've got, of course, we're away to Villa. It's Chelsea at home to Forest, Palace are at home to Bournemouth, Man United at home to Wolves, they're 0-0, and Southampton on 0-0 against Fulham. So they're all kicked off now. All Premier League games now have kicked off, and they're all 0-0, apart from the 2-2 with Leeds against. And I'll tell you, Leeds, that's going to be a tough game at the end of the season, Philip. That really will be. It's
really going to be a tough game. My coverage now, where Aston Villa Tottenham should be, is Manchester United versus Wolves.
Well, Premier Sports over here has shown the Man United game, which I'm really pissed off over.
Yeah, well, let's go down. I'm going to keep going down here and see can I get
a
game. Typical, isn't it? Every other match has been shown to the one we want to see.
It's a bit quiet over because all the Championship League One and the Championship finishes tomorrow, doesn't it, Philip?
No, the Championship has finished.
Oh, it has finished.
They're on the playoffs now.
Yeah. Well, we're 2 minutes into the Villa game when we're still drawing 0-0, which is actually a relief.
I'm just going to go and try and see. Bear with me, I'm going to go move on to another. I have a rather debatable source here, so I just want to make sure that I can.
We're not going to worry as we're winning today and next week. Yeah, that's it, Carl.
I hope so.
Just to forget our managerial roles and who we're going to get in and who we're not going to get in. We're going to win today. So,
hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if hang on, just give us 2 minutes, Philip. I'll be back in a minute. Just carry on.
I just as I said, I'm trying to get hold of my stream here, which is very frustrating. See, every other match is on except the Spurs one for some reason. I keep going here, so you're going to get USA. Try and get it through the American Sports Network. So anybody that's watching it, then maybe keep us up to date because. I didn't realize there's so many channels in these things. There we go, USA. Sports. Now, let's have a look and see what I can get. Probably get nothing, but anyway. Yeah, Carl, we're not winning today and next week. Well, I mean, we're on live on BT Sport next Saturday, early kickoff against Brentford, so that'll be interesting. That's going to be a game we possibly might have to win. Just 1 second now. This is not good. Bruce Springsteen wrote a song years ago when the forced satellite TV came in. He says 57 channels and nothing on. Now there's about 957 channels and there's still nothing on. No, I think I'm going to have to give up and just watch BT Sport. Looks like the only way I'm going to get something here. Let's try Canada. No, this is not. Plenty of ice hockey on, all right. Anyway, I don't know if was anybody watching the Leeds Newcastle game there. 3 penalties. And Newcastle didn't score from play at all.
We have a guest joining us, Philip. I had to get the band back together.
Who's
I had to get
on?
the three of us back together again. It's you, me, and Brad, the original
Brad.
Around the Grounds gang.
Oh, good man, Brad. I'll take. I'll just nip out just for a second. So I'll try and get the game on some other channel here, right? Yeah. I'll come back to you in a minute.
Are you, Grant? Alloa have gone 1-0 up, as you see, against Hamilton. What we do, we have the goals going in on the screen there for you. So they're from everywhere. They're from the German league, the Scottish leagues. So it keeps you up to date. And then I've got BT Sport on the other screen. And what we do is we'll keep you up to date with all the goals that come around the grounds, especially from the Premier League, where Chelsea are 0, Forest 0, Man United 0, Wolves 0. Of course, we're 0-0 away to Villa. Palace are 0-0 at home to Palace are 0-0 at home to Bournemouth after us beating them last week. That was a hard game to watch. And Southampton, who already will be relegated, I think, today if they lose against Fulham. So we could get our first relegation out of the Premier League today. Southampton could be going down. I want to know what you'll think of the season and the end. Who's going to come up from the Championship? Let us know if you think Luton can do it. We hope we are following Luton all the way to the Premier League. I think Luton deserve to go up. They've played well this season. And also, how do you think Burnley and Sheffield United are going to do next season in the Premier League? Will there be a team to watch or a team to? Do you think they'll just go straight back down again? But we keep going, and we're still near nowhere to Villa. And look, for me, it's a game we have to win today. We can't lose against Villa. If we want any hope of getting into Europe or any hope of sort of securing Europe this season, we have to get a result of Villa today. And it is so important. But that's the team at the bottom. And for me to have Diana in the squad, I think it's a great thing. But the starting lineup, of course, is Foster, Royale, Romero, Longley, Davis are back 4, Pedro, Skippy.
Villa have just scored.
Oh, Jesus Christ. After me bigging us up, saying we've got to win today to get into Europe, and then Villa's got
See, Villa have something to play for today. That's the problem.
Carl's saying he would love Luton to go up, but he has to get into the final. But he has a sneaking feeling it could be Sunderland. Philip, what's your thoughts on that? Look, we're losing, so we might as well talk about our second team, who we're following Luton Town from the Championship, seeking they get into the Premier League.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that game tonight?
I think Sunderland will be too good for them now, to be honest with you.
Well,
I'd love to see Luton go up. I mean, do you ever see the Luton's ground? One of the entrances to one of the stands is through a house. It's through a terraced house. It's unbelievable.
I've been there loads of times when Tottenham played their Luton. I went there once when Luton went there one Boxing Day to watch Luton play. I think they were playing Barnsley or somebody like that. They're unreal. Really, really unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal. It'd be a massive achievement for them to get up.
It would. It would. Have you still having problems with your link?
I've got the link, but I've got every game. I'm on Buying Sports now. This is the one in Arab. So you're going to get it on that.
Jacob Ramsey has scored for Villa after 8 minutes. That's who got the Villa goal. So, Anshamu says under 10 minutes. LOL. Yeah.
Manchester United is on 3 different channels here.
But Union Berlin have gone 3-0 up in the Bundesliga. If Fulham beat Sunderland, Southampton today to go down, Philip, do you think that would be?
Southampton are down if they lose today. In fact, I think even a point mightn't be enough for them. They are pretty much dead in the water,
Yeah. They rarely are.
Oh, I have the Spurs game.
Have you?
I have, yeah. There's 9 minutes, 18 seconds gone, and it's 1-0 to Villa. So.
Yeah. And then in the other playoff, which has really surprised me, is Coventry against Middlesbrough. I forgot Coventry got into the playoffs.
There's a lot, like Peterborough sneaked into the playoffs in the last day, in Division 1 as well. So it's really, it's it's a great leveler. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday turned up last night thinking they just had to, turn up. Oh, they got blown away. So is that game at 5:30, Dermot? Between,
yeah, it is. And then I like the League Two playoffs: Salford against Stockport, and then Bradford against Carlisle.
Stockport's a bit of a local derby, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And Bradford against Carlisle.
They're just showing clips of the Milan derby in the UEFA Cup and Champions League semi-final. I'm just looking, how did we lose to them?
Christian Romero has just done one of his trademark tackles and gone through somebody's back.
Oh, Jesus. He'd be sent off then.
I just want to see how far behind this stream is because I think I'm way behind.
Well, you should be, I think there's 11 minutes gone, Philip.
11:13 and I'm on 10:16, so about 40, 50 seconds behind.
Yeah. Carl's saying, well done, Mr. Levy. You've made this club rotten to the core. I would imagine now when someone new destroyed the team before even we got to today. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, it's possible.
I would say so. Look, I'm. Do you know what, Philip? This team's making me feel a bit depressed. If I'd be honest with you, I'm just so.
No, I would never let it get me that, Dermot. To be honest,
no.
In all fairness, it's only a game after all. It's not.
Yeah, but no. The point I'm making, it's not that you're picking me up wrong. The point I'm making is, as a Spurs fan, it's making me feel fed up.
Oh yeah, because we're used to success. We're used to success, and we're not getting it this season.
What's success?
But I honestly, what's success coming in the top four? Finishing in the top four, being regularly in Europe. If success is relative. If I'm not winning trophies, then getting into Europe is successful. But I've a feeling that we make the right appointments in the managerial this time around, and we're only 3 or 4 players away from being a very good team. But it's vital that those players are replaced and we get the right guys in.
Yeah, but we know we have a chairman who likes to get involved in transfers.
Yeah, and what can you and me do about it? We can't. We do nothing about it.
I know.
So worrying about it is, we're going to get stressed about things with no control over, and that's Villa now. Oh God, they've a goal difference of only 2 less than us now. One more goal and our goal difference are equal. Anyway, I've got to say I'm so long supporting Spurs. I've just got to say now, there's a great saying in life: don't worry about the things you've no control over. Well,
I'm not laughing at you, Philip. I'm just laughing at Carl's comment. Oh dear. I know what. That's funny. Oh, that's good. I like that. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit. I genuinely do feel really unwell today, but so I'll try not to sound a bit too croaky. Philip, look, I want to talk quickly. We haven't had a chance really to catch up with the games during the week, Philip, while we're waiting for while we're waiting for other goals to come in. The Manchester City Real Madrid semi-final. Where do you see that going? Because I can see Man City. I'll actually very quickly. Man City haven't lost at home in the Champions League, I think, for the last 5 years. Can you see that going only one way? No, I can't. I mean, although City rolled over Madrid in the first half yesterday and Tuesday, it was a close enough game coming near the end. So, no, I expect City to win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid pulled a flanker on them, Yeah.
By the way, Nottingham Forest have just gone 1-0 up against Chelsea.
Yeah. Do you know your camera's off, Philip?
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. Didn't realise. Sorry. Nottingham Forest have just gone 1-0 up against Chelsea.
I was just about to, and Brad's just joined us. How are you, Brad? Before we bring you in, I just want to bring in our little friend who does come on when Premier League goals do scoring. So here he is. Here's Fred. I still think that was Nagelsmann running out the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. I see we're 1-0 down already.
Yeah, well, we're doing well. We've reached 10 minutes and we're 1-0 down, so that's a good sign.
It's better than the last 2 away games.
Yeah. Very quickly, Brad, Forest, of course, have gone 1-0 up against Chelsea, at Chelsea. And again, I would love to congratulate Chelsea on their Premier League survival. Well done. And you're celebrating it by getting the team in relegation, beating you 1-0. So come on, Forest, do us all a favour. Philip, I was saying to Philip, Brad, about the game on Wednesday, the Manchester City Real Madrid semi-final. Which way do you think that's going?
I think City. I think so. I think that's what they're concentrating on this season. I think getting the away draw. It's on. The onus is on them to win. But it's not like last season where I think they went down. They won the first leg, didn't they? But
they did.
I think Real Madrid got a late goal, didn't they? Which made it only a goal difference. But having the home leg, this is the only thing that worries me about Man City not winning the title is they take their eye off the Premier League, concentrate on the Champions League. But I think they'll go through. I don't think Lightning strikes twice. They were very unlucky last season. I'll say unlucky. I mean, conceding 2 goals in the last few minutes when they were going to go through. So I think they'll go through.
Philip, what's the game? Sorry, Brad, go on. You were saying, sorry.
I was going to say, it'll be an interesting game tomorrow where they play Everton. So
yeah, it will. I can see. And how do you think that game's going tomorrow, Philip?
Well, after Everton go down to Brighton and beating them 5-1, anything can happen tomorrow. Do you remember last season when Villa were 2-0 up against City in the last game of the season? That could easily happen again tomorrow, So hopefully it doesn't. But we cannot let Arsenal get in here. We cannot. Jesus Christ.
No.
That'll be worse than Spurs not having the manager. Arsenal winning the league.
I think they can still get away with a draw. They can still win the title. They're still in pole position. Even
they can. They can afford to lose one match, I think.
Yeah.
I think that brings me back to the Man United Arsenal game back in 98, I think, or 1996 or 97, when Arsenal won the league and they had to go to Old Trafford to win it. I think the one at Old Trafford that actually put them in prime position to win the league that year. It was the same with the Man City game. Whoever wins that sort of had prime position. I think Man City deserve it, to be fair. I think Man City, once they go on a run, there's no team better than Man City in the league.
Oh, true enough.
They I mean, they just. I mean, the fact that they can rotate their team and the fact that they've got people like that young lad on the bench, doesn't get a game, is incredible. It's just the only player they can't. Yeah, that's it, Phil Bowden. My memory is really bad these days. It's like it's just I can't remember our own players.
Mine's 10 times worse than yours, Brad. I mean, my memory's that bad. I go out shopping and I forget to get washing up liquid. Right, I have to go out 3 times to remember washing up liquid. It drives my missus mad. So then she tells me write it on the list, right, and I write the list down, but I forget to look at the list. So that's the reminder. I tell you, getting old and losing your memory is a bugger.
Hello to Carl and hello to Chamu in the chat.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah. Poor old Chamu, 2:00 in the morning. He's watching this.
Yeah,
although Spurs are pressing a little bit. They're not. Villa are not dominating this by any means.
Are you hiding because we're losing, Philip?
What is happening to my camera? I'm not touching it.
There you
I don't
go.
know what's happening to it. Do you know what it was? I had my phone on the keyboard. I must be leaning on something.
Philip was hiding because Tottenham were losing. He really was shouting and roaring at the TV and putting fingers up and everything at the players because they were losing. That's
Dracula stalking up and down the touchline near Villa Park. Anyway.
Yeah. Carl Simpson loves Fred. We all love Fred. What do you think to the Forest going 1-0 up at Chelsea, Philip?
Nothing surprised me about Chelsea at the minute. Forest are fighting for their lives. Chelsea are fighting to get to the end of the season without any more embarrassment.
I tell you one thing: relegation odds, right? Southampton are 1 to 1,000 to go down. Leeds are 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Leicester are 11-4, 4-11, and Everton are 3-1 to go down. That would be worth a few quid.
Interesting. Yeah. I think Leeds getting a point today was quite important. It made the game against us now vital, whereas I was hoping it wouldn't.
Did that bring Everton back into the bottom three? Did it?
No, I think Leeds are back in the bottom three.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, just have a look there, Brad.
Yeah. If you want to know Premier League, because Leeds drew 2-2 with Newcastle, I think that game does not do anything for Newcastle's Champions League hopes either. To be fair, I think that's really struggling. The Liverpool have been given a gift horse there with that drop points. Forest are 1-0 up at Chelsea. Man United are still 0-0 with Wolves. Villa, of course, are 1-0 up against us. Palace, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham are all 0-0. Go on, Brad. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think Leeds are in a bit of trouble because Everton are a point clear with that game in hand tomorrow, albeit City. And Forest at the moment, the way that if they continue to win, they're on 36 points, so they're actually 5 points ahead of the league. Yeah, if they win today, that is.
Yeah. So would you say 37, 38 points is enough for you to stay in the Premier League?
Yeah, 34 is the lowest, I think. But you remember it used to be 40 points. It's gone way beyond that now.
40 points, didn't it? That was the magic number.
Richarlison has just been caught about 85 yards offside there.
Oh, for God's sake. I'm getting really frustrated with Richarlison. We saw it last week, Philip, when we did the watch along. How many times did we complain about him not running into the right positions or the right?
Well, you see, Harry Kane and himself are kind of playing in the one area. That's the problem. You know, that's why I think to see the best of Richarlison, Harry Kane doesn't need to be in the team. Whereas, you know, they're not. It's a bit like Sonny and Perisic early in the season. They keep running each other's spaces.
Oh, I don't know.
And there's 21 minutes gone, still 1-0 to Villa.
Bayern Munich have gone 2-0 up. Again, that's half-time, and then the Bundesliga. I tell you, the Bundesliga is a good league to watch. Do you know, Philip and Brad?
Yeah, some good games in it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the most similar league to the Premier League in Europe. I think that's why if you get a player from a German team, and of course Heung-min Son was from a German team, I think they're more likely to do well in the Premier League than if you get someone from, say, the Spanish league, that sort of thing. Where it's a completely different way of playing football.
It is. It really is. Frankfurt are 2-0 up again, are also 2-0 up at halftime. So although halftime scores that are coming up on your screen. Of course, Luton tonight, we hope Luton would do us a favour. Peterborough last night, as Philip was saying, blew Sheffield United away.
Harry Kane just hacked down from behind. The referee's booking the Villa play, quite rightly so.
You must have read my mind, Dermot, because I'd like to give a big shout out to a person called Lloyd Cook, who I knew in Australia, and I knew him I used to go to Australian rules football and sort of meet him there, and he was always a massive Luton Town fan. Yeah, always just gone about Luton Town. So good luck to them in their playoffs. It'd be great to see Luton in the Premiership. Really would.
I would love to. Do you know what me and Philip were saying? Can you imagine a Luton Coventry playoff final?
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I wouldn't mind either of them going. I know there's channels behind Luton, but I wouldn't mind Coventry going up.
Yeah, I'm willing to be corrected here, but wasn't the last time Coventry City at Wembley they won?
Shush! Don't mention the war.
We'll forget that. Hang on, Brad. Hang on. I haven't got a yellow card to hand, but I'm just going to give you an imaginary yellow card.
There are some games we don't mention, and that's one of them.
KVP. Not KVP. KDB is from the German team as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Carl Simpson red card that. It must be that either Brad or the tackle on Harry Kane.
McGinn, that was bad tackle. Tackle.
What do you guys make of the unchanged lineup, which I thought was good?
Yeah, I very brave.
Going through on goal here, but he's offside, I think. He missed anyway.
Very brave from Mason, I have to say.
The play went on. Bloody hell, Sonny. It was clean through. Only the goalie to beat. And he missed it. He hit the post.
I don't know. Anyway, Dundee United.
Then the referee the linesman put his flag up about 30 seconds too late. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Dundee United have equalised against Ross County in the Scottish Premier League, where we lost to Rangers today. Get back on the training pitch, guys. There's no
Did Rangers
point.
win? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's 3-0.
Yeah, we feel sorry for them. We trounced them in the league. We trounced them everywhere. We just feel sorry for them.
They were a goal up after about 3 minutes. Joe Hart made a mistake.
I tell you, Joe Hart.
Is that the Joe Hart that's going to win a title?
It's just won the title. Yeah, they won it.
That's his second title he's won now.
Yeah, I know.
He's won more trophies at Celtic than I think he ever done than he did at Man City.
Oh, no, he won a few at City, all right.
Yeah,
Cameron Carter Vickers has got a title as well.
That's his second.
And then Dombele's got one, and Collini has got one at Napoli. So I think the moral of the thing is you have to leave Spurs to win titles.
Says a lot about Tottenham.
Yeah. Tottenham are starting to get back into this game a bit now. They're starting to press Villa a bit.
Carl Simpson
Dracula's looking busy, looking worried.
Carl Simpson says, at least we are actually trying to make a change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've no problem. I've no problem with Ryan Mason's current managership at the moment. I don't think he should be made the job, given the job permanently, because I think he needs to get experience in a lower league club, because he's only 31. Right. He's got time on his side. He could literally come. I mean, even if he came to Tottenham as a manager at 41, he'd still be a young manager.
Yeah.
You know,
that's exactly my thoughts, Brad. Exactly my thoughts.
So he's got plenty of time. I really think staying at Tottenham would hinder his career. I really do. It's just so toxic at the moment. And according to Fabio, the guy who writes on Twitter, it's like that Tottenham didn't want to answer any of his questions that Nagelsmann had. They didn't want to actually sort of. He wanted total control over transfers and the director of football, but they weren't willing to meet those demands. It says it all, really.
And then the BBC say that they've taken the club line, that we didn't even talk to them at all. So it's just hard to know what's going on.
Yeah, so the problem is, though, Phil, if you take the club line all the time, we don't speak to anyone.
No, that's true. That's true. No, but as I said last night, Brad, why come out specifically and say you haven't spoken to them if you have? Because then it can be easily debunked.
Yeah,
and they look even more foolish than they do at the moment, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. What's going on. Yeah.
Look, my view on it all is, I think it's a debacle. I think it's another, as you put it last night, Philip, a circus.
It's a circus, but it'll become a debacle if we don't get a manager in within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, but we had this before after Mourinho was sacked. We were linked
but it went 90 days. We're not that bad yet. Yeah.
We were linked with every man and his dog for the job. I mean, the same thing is happening again. So I've got a question ready for you both. I'll start with you, Philip, on this. What do you think it is? Do you think it's a lack of leadership from Levy? Do you think it's a lack that we've got a director of football? Are we sort of clueless at the moment which way we want to go? Or does Levy have no clue how to get out of this mess he's got us into?
I don't know. I can't answer that, though. Really, I can't, because if I could answer that, I'd get Levy's job, because I just don't know what's going on. It's obviously things have happened in the dressing room this season that probably Levy has no control over. But there seems to have been, and I blame Conte for this, there seems to have been a lack of application, a lack of getting down and getting at it, lethargy, picking up your paycheck every week. There wasn't the fight or the desire that you expect from a team like Spurs. And I put that down to the fact that the players didn't like Conte's tactics, didn't like what they've been asked to do, and said, fuck it, we're not going to do it. So hopefully that will change when the new manager comes in. But other than that, I just do not know, really. Good punch by Foster in the corner. So, but as I keep saying, this is the most important appointment that Levy will ever make, because if he gets this wrong, he's got it wrong so many times before. It's a bit like somebody saying, "Oh well, we've tried it 17 times before. Let's try it the 18th time because no one expects us to do it that way." Oh God.
I guess I remember saying the same thing about Conte, and that if he screws up with Conte, that's it. I think the problem with Daniel Levy is that he won't let go of the reins. He doesn't trust anyone. He doesn't trust anyone to do the football side of things.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe when Paratici came in, whether we think he was good or bad, I think he did have some sort of say for a while, and then Levy just sort of clawed it back. And
That's a very good point from Carl Simpson there.
It is. I was just bringing it up there,
Yeah.
Philip.
Donna Cullen is the one to me. She takes an awful lot of responsibility of what's going on here.
He says it's Levy 100%. He's lost the plot. He's lost the complete control of the club. I think it's actually Donna Cullen who's making the decisions at the moment. Do you know, Philip? We've always had things in the past like Sugar, Venables, Scholar. We've always been sort of a club that brings news around. Do you know what I mean? Around Tottenham, there's always something happening.
Yeah.
Is this the worst it's ever been?
No, it's not the worst it's ever been. No.
I mean, in recent years. In recent years.
No, because listen, whatever way you look at it, we're 5th or 6th in the league, right? The worst times were back in the 90s when we were 15, 16, fighting relegation. That was a struggle. That was critical.
Yeah.
Maybe we expect too much now.
Do you think the Champions League final set the bar too high?
No, I think what happened. No, I don't. We should have pressed on after that.
Yeah,
that was a crucial time. We didn't. That was probably the crux of the whole thing, was losing that game and not pushing on afterwards.
You know what, Philip? I walked out of that stadium after losing the Champions League final. I walked out the stadium and I looked and I thought to myself, we'll be back here next season. We'll get to the final again. That's how confident I was that the future was bright at Tottenham. But we all know what happened. I mean, the season that, correct me if I'm wrong, the season that was 2019, wasn't it?
19, yeah.
Everyone goes on about Pochettino's, supposedly bad record. If I remember rightly, we lost a game at Burnley in around about January of that season. And up until that game, we were actually one of the outsiders for the title. We were challenging for the title.
Yeah.
So, this sort of thing that we didn't do well under Pochettino, the following, and then Pochettino said the famous rebuild words, and it never happened. And we lost games, and Levy sacked him. And that's in my opinion, is where it all went wrong. And it's, Philip, you're spot on about, we're in a decent position. Spot on. I remember beating Aston Villa at White Hart Lane 5-1, and that put us in the pole position to get a European slot, because we haven't been in Europe for God knows how many years. We're all singing, we're all going on a European tour. We're all excited about being in the UEFA League, or whatever it's called, the UEFA Cup. Yeah. I think the problem at Tottenham is the fact that we've been shown that we can do stuff. We've been given sight of winning Premier Leagues, of winning Champions League finals, of winning semi-finals and finals, and we've had it taken away from us. We haven't gone on and done it, and that is the thing. It's to be crude about it. It's the ultimate prick tease. We've been raised up this expectation, and there's no reason why we shouldn't have gone forward, but it's the backing has stopped at that moment, and that's my whole problem with Daniel Levy and ENIC, is the fact that we've got to this situation, and let's face it, 2017, that's 6 years ago, and that's where he could have thrown money at it, brought in players, recruited properly, and we could have done something, because the stadium was being built. Yes, we didn't get any, but the stadium was finished in 2019. So it's just very frustrating.
Villa are all over us at the moment. Fraser Foster just made a fantastic save.
Yeah.
Oliver Skip then gave the ball away in a stupid position, and
there's a goal.
Only a tackle by Oliver Skip kept them from scoring.
I was just about to say this. There's been a goal at Man United. So where's Fred?
No, to hell with Man United.
It is called Around the Grounds for nothing, Philip.
Oh, I know, but I was just saying I was in the middle of doing this. But I'd always give Spurs reports precedence. Never mind, who scored anyway?
Martial, Man United have gone 1-0 up, and there was a VAR review at the Palace Bournemouth game. I don't know what that was for.
Well, that makes it very interesting, because now, if that result stays the same at Manchester United, that means Manchester United and Newcastle, same amount of games, same amount of points. Although Newcastle's goal difference is so far ahead.
So yeah, Man United are one up against Wolves. I think
Wolves
are safe. I think
they are. Yeah,
And
they are.
mathematically, at the moment, if the results stay the same, we can't make the top 4 mathematically.
Well, we couldn't anyway. I don't think, we couldn't. That was decided after the Bournemouth match, I think. Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to pop off this. I'm not really feeling well. I'm not.
You're not well?
No, I'm not well at all. And I thought I could do the stream, but I really can. I'm so sorry. So, Philip, would you mind taking control for a bit?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. If Spurs go any further down, I think we might pull a plug in it, but we'll keep it going till half time anyway and see what's going on. Yeah, no, go on. See you later.
Right, get better. Dermot, see, I even forget your names. So I think as it stands at the moment, I think the Europa League's out at the moment as well.
Well, it depends really. If it looks, if we win today, we're pretty much guaranteed Europe. But if we lose, Villa will be right on our tails, and it means we're going to have to win the last 2 matches and hope they slip up.
Because
Brighton are playing Arsenal tonight, and there's one game. For God, I hate to say this, but there's one game I want Arsenal to win, as long as City win tomorrow, because I want to keep Brighton off our backs.
Well, the thing about the Sky Sports app is the league table is actually it's based on the results as they're happening.
Yeah, same with the one I'm watching. Yeah.
So at the moment, Spurs and Villa are level on points. We've got a goal difference of 6. They've got a goal difference of 4.
Yeah, they scored again. That's level then. Because we lose 1, they gain 1.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But we would have to win our last 2 games, and Liverpool lose their last 3 games if we're to get 5th.
Yeah, well, 6th will be okay for Europa.
Yeah, I think even 7th is as well because of the way the cups are going.
Yeah. Jeez, we let in 58 goals. That's savage, isn't it?
Oh, it's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. It's and that was the thing. That was the problem with the transfer window, which I think initially in the summer, the initial window was okay in my opinion, but then we never that we desperately needed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's been a goal in the playoff final. Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0.
Oh boy, Notts County will be kicking themselves now if they don't go up.
Yeah.
How has that worked out? Is that 2 teams from? Is that 1 team from the league and another one from the National League is playing off?
I think the team at the top of the Vanarama National League go up automatically, which is
that's Wrexham. They're up.
And I think
Notts County was second. They finished second.
Yeah, Notts County finished second. I got a feeling. I'm not sure whether they play the winners of another game, and that's what the final is today. Yeah, I'm just going to check it. You know what it could be? It could be a team from one of the bottom teams in Division 2. What did I just see now? I'll just go into this now. Division League 2. Main. No, it's not. That's strange. It must be the top 2 in the National League because. Yeah, I think it's the top. I think the top team and the winner of the playoff. Yeah, Chesterfield came third. Yeah, it's the top 2 and behind Wrexham that are playing off. So I mean, Notts County were like, oh my word, that's unbelievable. Our ex-player, John Bostock is playing for Notts County. Oh right, John Bostock. Yeah. He was the great white hope there a while ago. But I have to do my mathematics. But Chesterfield finished 23 points behind Notts County. Well, that's going to be another Peterborough versus Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it? Sheffield Wednesday were destroyed last night. Absolutely destroyed. I know that, and it could have been worse. I mean, Peterborough could have had a couple more. Oh yeah. Just a sooner score, because it's Bolton and it's gone now. And let's hope Spurs can keep it to 1-0 at half time, and then we turn in our usual better second half performance. But at the moment, Richarlison has done absolutely some total of nothing. Oh, there's been a goal at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 1, Bournemouth 0. Oh, nice. Let's see who scored it. It's not coming up who scored the goal, but they have scored. Oh, Eberici, Eze.
Yeah.
He's a decent player. I wouldn't mind
He
him.
is, isn't he? He's not bad at all.
So there's goals in every match apart from Southampton-Fulham, where it's 0-0.
0-0, yeah. I wonder, Southampton, what game did they play against Forest the other night? Was it Forest they were playing?
Oh, that was a crazy game, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't it? It was a bit mad now. It was 4-3.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 minutes of injury time at the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, I watched I think I watched it when it was 3-2. And it went, 4-2, didn't it, to Forest? Then Forest got that goal that eventually got disallowed. So that would have made it 5-2. But because I didn't get it, it was still 4-2. And then it went up the other end and it was suddenly 4-3.
4-3, yeah.
And they came reasonably close to making it 4-all.
Jesus, some boys had to put in a cross into the Spurs box like a fucking rocket. So it beat everybody. But all it took was a touch and that was 2-0. Jeez, what? He really fizzed it across. Right from out, far out on the left. Bang. Oh, boy, we were lucky. Villa play got a touch to it but couldn't direct it on target. That's that Watkins, Ollie Watkins fella.
I think if this game actually meant any more, I'd find a stream for it. But I'm just so disinterested in the season now.
I know. Just playing out time, really.
Yeah.
Tottenham had no attempts and nothing on target in the first half. Not single, nothing.
Jesus.
Villa have had 3 and 2 on target.
Well, to be honest with you, Philip, you know me. I'm very much a law of averages sort of guy, and I think we've won there. I think the last 6 games, I think we've won at Villa Park, so they are due to get a result.
Remember last season we beat them 4-0, but we were under the cosh for a lot of the game. So you never know. Sonny got his hat trick that day.
Because I went to the pub and made the decision at half time to go from the rather weak Amstels to the rather stronger Peroni. So it did the trick. It did the trick. We came back and won 4-0. So
yeah.
But no, you're right. We should have been well behind at the end of that game. The end of that half.
Yeah. So we can do the same in this half because we are playing better in the second half generally. So let's just see if Mason can do something at half time here.
I've got 42 minutes or 42 and a half minutes gone in the Villa game. I don't know how.
Yeah, 41, 42 exactly now. So you're about half a minute ahead.
So we're about half a minute ahead then.
Yeah, I'm getting the signal from Buying Sports, the Richard Keys and...
Oh, right.
What's his name? Andy Gray. Anyway, let's be glad when this season's over. We have a manager in place and we get a few new signings in. It's just...
Yeah, I was starting to get a little bit more optimistic when the Nagelsmann sort of stuff was happening and people were going on doing blogs and saying he was a really good manager. But now that's over. It's like, well, again, Tottenham raising your hopes.
Fraser Foster made another great save after the referee didn't give Spurs a free kick. A definite foul in the middle of the pitch with no free kick given. I think not the first time he's done that in this game either. Oh, geez, man, he's barged into him and no free kick given. Oh, here, come on.
That's weird. It's got on here. It's got match focus. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 0. Jacob Ramsey opens the scoring before Eze levels for Palace with his 9th league goal of the season. So
that's a bit mixed up. He must support both teams.
So it's Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 1 in a game that doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed about today. Oliver Skip is getting completely bypassed in the midfield.
Yeah, I think that's where we suffer from only having the 2 in the midfield.
Yeah, I think so.
I think if you had to create a midfielder, Skip would only have sort of the one job to do, which I think he does well. But because he's got this other job to do, and I think that having a creative midfield, having a midfield 3 means 1, you don't get overrun as much, and 2, you've got a bit of creativity. You can do the bog standard stuff that him and Højbjerg are so good at.
That's true. I wonder if they make changes at half time now. I think Richarlison has to come off, bring Kulusevski or Dan the Man on because we know there's nothing coming down the right-hand side of the door. It's all coming down the left-hand side here.
How's Porro playing?
He's doing okay. He's done a couple of good interceptions. Yeah, I think he's going to be a really good player for us once he settles down.
Yeah. I like what I see. I'm lucky at my seat at Tottenham in the second half. I see a lot of him because he's obviously coming down that right side. But no, he's a very, very good player, very quick, very skillful. It's going to be interesting, actually. Him and Kulusevski are both sort of competing for a spot. It'll be very interesting. I think you've got two very good players there that are different. The big difference I notice is that Porro does actually cross with his right foot, whereas Kulusevski has to come over on his left.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess they can dovetail around the side with each other. I'm looking forward to seeing Udogie, Destiny Udogie. Yeah,
no, that's that. Yeah, if you have a back three with your wing backs Udogie and Porro, that could work really well.
Yeah, it just depends who we get in the centre back. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. So I presume Eric Dyer is injured.
Maybe his pride's hurt. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. At least, in fact, you feel a bit more steady when he's not in the squad. He's not there to make a cock up.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we got a clean sheet last week, sort of. It's half time at Southampton. Southampton 0, Fulham 0.
Sonny Boy trying. Then the flag. And this is ridiculous. They let Son play on for about 30 seconds there. Then he puts his flag up.
Oh,
totally ridiculous. Son has been caught offside about 3 or 4 times this half. He's just not timing his runs. Well, he's onside there by a mile. Oh, no, he's not. No, it's not him. Oh, somebody else. I thought I was mistaken for somebody else there. But why play on for so long?
It's crazy.
Very unhappy Son today. Really unhappy. 2 minutes of extra time, so we should be nearly there now. 5 times Spurs have been caught offside in the first half. Ryan Mason looking very sardonic there.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan Mason is. I don't think he's backward in coming forward. I think he strikes me as a person that would have a go at players in the dressing room at half time if needed.
Yeah, it's half time now, and I won there.
Yeah, half time. It's half time at Manchester, Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. And the League One playoff half time, Bolton 0, Barnsley 0. That's a big northwest.
That's a bit North Yorkshire versus Lancashire, that isn't it?
Yeah. War of the Roses, that
one. It's half time now.
I love the fact there's a team in the Scottish League 2 called the Spartans. I studied classical studies when I was at college many years ago, and classical. Yeah, we did the Spartans in one of the
yes.
semesters. Right. Yeah, they're wow. There's a good reason why if you're tough that you get called a Spartan. They really to do a lot of stuff to sort of prove themselves and that.
No, Tottenham. I don't know what we're going to do with Spurs. I really don't. I don't know.
It just depends on the new manager, the players that we get during the summer, and quite honestly, it's down to Levy and Enoch to what funds they give the manager, and just as long as he stays out. There we go. Hiya, Ben.
There you go, Ben. Purple and gold until Tottenham was sold. I'm drinking craft beer instead of watching Eurovision on again. Oh,
it's on tonight. Yeah. Ben, I'm going to be doing both. I'm going to be drinking beer and watching Eurovision tonight. So
I'm boycotting it tonight because Ireland didn't get through for the 5th year running.
They haven't had decent songs since My Lovely Horse.
This song was a better one. My Lovely Horse would probably win it. They had a decent enough song this year, but they're in the wrong semi-final. But I know the Eurovision is. There used to be a case where that Father Ted episode of Lose, we used to win it every year, and we had to take extreme measures not to win it.
I heard the UK entry last night for the first time, and it's very, very formulaic, if that's a word.
Sure,
it's almost like saying, "Oh, come on, we need a Europop song done in by Saturday." So it's
Yeah, no. To be honest, I haven't watched Eurovision in 5 years. I think it's a bit. It's really over the top, isn't it? A lot that goes on.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
you know?
it's just yeah,
It's not music anyway. It's theatre. It's more, yeah.
I like it because the coverage, or certainly the coverage in England. I know when we used to have Terry Wogan, and now we got Graham Norton, where they basically it's a big piss take, you know, and it's like we're the only ones that don't really take it that seriously, and we laugh at all the other countries that do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I just love that. Yeah,
that's true. I think Ben wants to talk about guitars here.
Debate guitars. Gibson is better than Fender. It depends what you get. Depends what sound you want.
Yeah.
But Ben is from the rock, more of the rock school, I'd say, than the blues school, where Gibson would be a better guitar.
Right.
Whereas Fender is more suited to blues and country, that sort of thing.
Right. There's an artist that I know he's been around for the last 100 years, but I've started listening to him recently. I love his stuff. It's George Thorogood.
Oh yeah.
I started listening to his albums now. When I'm traveling, I love his guitar. His slide guitar work is just brilliant.
Yeah. Was it George Thorogood and the Destroyers? Wasn't it, I think.
And some of the lyrics. There's a song he has out called "Get a Haircut or Get a Decent Job." So the lyrics in that are absolutely hilarious. You know. The last one, I keep telling him to get a job like your brother, like your big brother Bob. He says, now I'm 10 times richer than my big brother Bob, but he has a proper job and a haircut, you know. I'm a rock star and I'm making a fortune out of it. I still think the greatest lyrics of any rock song ever, never, ever been is Joe Walsh, "Life's Been Good."
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's so different, I haven't changed, you know.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant. Oh my God. I can listen to that song forever, you know.
That is one great song. The whole song is good as well.
The song is brilliant, you know.
And the lyrics are just brilliant. Yeah, "Life's Been Good to Me." Yeah, it's one of those great songs. And I mean, he joined the Eagles, didn't he? And sort of
That's right, yeah. Sort of thing. It's very funny. I saw the Eagles playing in Dublin there during the summer. And he comes out with, he's got this real slow drawl about him, you know.
Yeah,
he says, I had a lot more fun in the 70s than when I was 20 than I'm having in the 20s when I'm 70. Oh dear. Yeah.
He did a thing with the guy from AC/DC, Brian Johnson, the singer, that used to do a program where he'd interview people from the music industry. And he did one with Joe Walsh. And it was just really, really funny. The guy's really, really funny.
Yeah, he seems to be. You know, he seems to be. You know,
I think they asked him what his worst mistake he ever made was becoming friends with Keith Moon.
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh dear.
I sometimes watch those old 70s clips, especially some of the stuff like, you know, David Bowie doing Gene Genie with like Mick Ronson playing the guitar, and I just wish I was their age in the 70s in a rock and roll band, you know, just have that 5 or 6 years where it's just all out excess, you know, in everything.
I know.
I mean, obviously now you can't do it now, but I'd like to be that age and in that sort of situation where just rock and roll excess for 2 or 3 years.
Yes. Yeah, those were the days. Yeah, I say most of the rockers that back in the 70s and 80s can't really remember too much of what went on anyway, you know. The Buying Sports are doing a link of all Harry Kane's goals for the season here.
Yeah, like you had the one where all of his headers, didn't they, on as well?
He's done nothing today now. He hasn't even got close.
I think I kept the one. I think I had all of his league goals when he broke the record. All his league goals. Oh,
oh, Gibson haven't worked with women yet. I disagree with Brad. I think Gibson's about bluesier than Fenders.
Yeah, maybe. I guess you could argue that Fender's probably more suited to maybe country because it's got more of a twang, but yeah.
Yeah, it's especially the Telecaster, I think, is favored the country. Yeah.
I guess also rock music is basically blues anyway. So.
Well, it is. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
My Watsons just said the blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, yeah, it's I'm going to a gig in Dublin now on Tuesday weeks. My all-time hero is playing in Dublin, John Fogerty.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
He's still going,
yeah. I saw him. He played in Dublin 4 years ago, and it was the gig of the year in Dublin. It was absolutely. So it was a double bill with Steve Miller.
Oh,
Steve
right.
Miller
Wow.
Band.
Wow.
And John Fogerty, and he's coming back. He actually, a very interesting story. He had to set up his rights to his records to get out of a record deal years ago, and he lost out on his royalties, for years. And even the guy that wrote some of the classic rock, like Proud Mary and Bad Moon Rising and Fortunate Son, he had to survive. What kept him going at the end of the 70s was the royalties from Status Quo.
Oh, really?
Version of Rockin' All Over the World. Yeah.
Wow.
But this year he actually bought back the rights to all his records.
Did he?
And that, after 50 years. And the tour he's on at the minute is called the Celebration Tour. It's to celebrate this, so but it's some story now.
I used to know a guy called Rob Manton. He was in a mod band called the Purple Hearts during the mod revival in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And I stayed with his family when I was living in Australia. I came over to England to stay with his family and with him and that for a bit. And he got a check in the mail, and it was royalties from the Purple Hearts album, which had been out for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It's something like £5 or something. It's look, they got royalty check. So it might have been about 50. It might have been 50, but yeah, this royalty check in the mail.
Oh boy. Yeah, like there's some guy that I play with in Dublin. He wrote a song about "I've got a great future behind me" is the title of it, And one of the lines in it was, "I got a check from Spotify for 30,000 plays. It was $2.50."
It's crazy. It's just really crazy. There's certainly no money in it. It's the only way. The best way of making money is if you get someone that's really famous, like Jay-Z or someone like that.
Yeah.
Or the other guy, the other idiot, and just basically sampling one of your songs.
Yeah.
So if they do that, then you can get royalties that way.
You get royalties on it, yeah.
So, but on YouTube, when I put and I've got to look into this a bit more. When I put my songs up on YouTube, you do tick a thing that says people can use can clip your song and use it for things. So.
Okay.
So I don't know whether I'm covered by that. If suddenly I see Jay-Z having a hit single, that's my song in the background.
Yeah, we're like, what do you call him? What do you call him? Had won the case against Marvin Gaye's song.
Oh, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, yeah, Ed Sheeran.
Well, I think, I saw well, Ben will know this guy. I think Rick Beato did a thing on the two songs where he compared the two songs, and it wasn't really. It used a little bit of a little bit of the chords in it, but it wasn't really a copy of Marvin Gaye's song.
Do you know what the craziest plagiarizing case ever was? Again, go back to it was John Fogerty. Back in 1985, he brought out an album after being away for years, and there's a song on it called "The Old Man Down the Road." And the guy that he had the argument with his previous record label sued him for sounding too like one of his earlier songs, "Run Through the Jungle," right? So he's the only man in history ever to write two songs and get plagiarized for doing this.
Oh no!
They were both his songs, but I mean, he had to bring his guitar into court and play the songs in the courtroom, and he won the case. But imagine it being this. I don't know. It's just so stupid.
It is. I mean, the thing is, though, like the most difficult for me, anyway. So being a songwriter, I find that the most difficult is coming up with a melody.
Uh-huh.
Doing the chords and that chord progression, that's relatively easy. It's difficult to come up with something new, but coming up with melody, and when you come up with a melody, you think, actually, I like that melody. That's really good. In the back of your mind, you're always thinking, I wonder if it's someone else's I've just plagiarized.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Have
you heard it before?
It's just one of those sort of things.
I can just imagine Ben Kaufman in a country band now, with the check shirt, the bandana, and the hat. Just imagine that now. Really looked the part, so he would. Ben saying Scalpers bought all the tickets to the favourite artist, Luke Combs, and now tickets €200. 200 quid. That's not too bad. The ticket prices for concerts have gone through the roof.
I must admit, I don't know who Luke Combs is. So
I've heard of him. I like American country now, I have to say. So.
It's not.
Dermot, are you all right again?
Yeah, I tell you what it is. All this Tottenham thing was getting to me, and I was going to say something.
It's a game.
No, hang on.
It's a
Just
game,
no, hang on. It's not. I've been right. Mentally for the last couple of weeks, my mental health is suffering for other bits and pieces. I haven't been well either, and which affects me too. And I think with the disappointments of Nagelsmann, which are now got us seen live on Dave's channel, because I said if we didn't get Nagelsmann, I would do the first line on Burning Love on Dave's channel, so I've got to do that. Brad, you better come on with your guitar and back me up. Look, I just felt I was going to say something I've may regretted on the subject, so I took 5-10 minutes out just to gather my thoughts and just have something to eat, have a hot drink, and sort of, clear my head.
Okay.
And I came back. What I have found is my old team, St Albans City, where I was brought up, where I spent most of my childhood, had a lot of fun there, done a lot of drinking in the big field in the big hill with a few of my mates over the years. There's a few stories I could tell you that would make you laugh. We're playing in the National League South playoff tomorrow against Oxford City.
Right.
At half 12, and the game's actually live on BT Sport.
Bloody hell. Okay.
Tomorrow. So I want to wish my old team, St Albans City, which I used to go and watch them as a kid, because Tottenham used to play the reserves games in St Albans back in the 80s. So I remember going down on the Tuesday night with my dad, watching the likes of Ozzy Ardiles, Glenn Hoddle, Graham Roberts, all the reserve sides, right? And we were playing Arsenal one night, and I was no more than about 9, I think, at the time, right? And I stupidly shouted out, "Arsenal, you're a bunch of wankers," right? And there's 2 Arsenal fans behind me who my parents knew from the local club we went to. So they've known me since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Well, my dad took me around the back of the stadium and gave me the biggest bollocking I've ever received. That was the time when hooliganism was rife within the game.
Right.
Reserve games and everything. And he said to me, "You shouldn't be saying that, because I could start, you could get into trouble and all this." And there's something that stuck with me for the rest of my life, that it was the most funniest bollocking I ever got in my life. But I said to him, years later, I wasn't wrong calling Arsenal a bunch of wankers. He turned around to me and said, "No, you weren't." But in that team, it had Tony Adams. I forget, there was a couple of Irish players playing in that Arsenal reserve side as well. It was like a proper, but even in them games, it was, you could feel the passion. You could feel the passion of not losing. And I think that's what we're missing at Tottenham. We haven't got the passion like we used to.
Yeah.
And I think that's the moral of the story is, I think with not going through with Nagelsmann, with disappointments after not building after Poch, after disappointment, and the team losing today, and we're not playing well. I think it's just we're fed up with the season, Philip, and
we want the season to finish. We want the season to finish. No doubt about it.
It's just answering Ben's thing. Influence, not plagiarism. Well, I'll tell them that in court, Ben. Okay. I'll use that as my defence.
Have you been caught using music you shouldn't have, Brad?
No. Just talking about whenever I come up with a decent melody, I always think, I wonder if it's been done by someone else. So.
But, I tell you, there's a great documentary on Netflix about there's a few good music documentaries on Netflix that are out, and there's one about the crowd that originally done Proud Mary.
Creedon, that's Creedon Stillwell. I watched it last night.
Is it
that's
any
the
good?
guy. That's the guy I'm going to see in Dublin on Tuesday week. John Fogarty. Watch it. It's a brilliant documentary. Brilliant.
Is it on Netflix? Is it? I've got Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah, that's about an hour and a quarter. Jeff Bridges narrates it.
Yeah.
Just Creedence Clearwater Revival. Albert Hall.
And Bowie's on there as well. I think Bowie's got his documentary on there as well, which I'm a massive Bowie
see
head.
They show the whole content. Back in the day, back in 1970, Creedence only played a set of 45 minutes, right? No encores, very little talking on stage, but they got a 15-minute standing ovation when they left.
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how good they were. They were the biggest band in the world at the time because the Beatles had just broken up.
Yeah, because
That's
they were
well worth a watch. Very
they
sad
played
story,
they
but well
played
worth a watch.
Woodstock, didn't they? They played Woodstock, didn't they?
They played Woodstock behind the Grateful Dead, and everybody was asleep.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Woodstock DVD, which has got it's 3 hours long, so it's got a lot of stuff on it.
The original film that came out, Fogarty wouldn't allow the Creedence stuff put in it because he felt it wasn't up to standard. But it's in the more recent editions that have come out, you know.
Yeah.
But no, it was, I've actually met two of the guys.
All right.
The drummer and the bass player. Yeah, I was on a weekend in Germany with them a few years ago. Great guys, really good guys, you know.
Oh, there's been a goal at Southampton.
Oh,
Southampton nil, Fulham 1, and guess who scored? Carlos Vinicius.
And Villa attacking here. Villa almost got in here again, but good Romero, what a tackle. Now that's why we pay him his wages. That's why we do it.
Yeah.
Great tackle.
I'm sorry, I've lost the Sky Sports screen, so I do apologise for that, but I will keep you up to date. Of course, Oxford City are playing St Albans City tomorrow, so come on, St Albans City. Let's get into the nationwide league. That'd be good for us. Fulham, yeah. Southampton could go down. We could have our first relegation on our show
today. They'll be down
today
today unless they win.
Yeah.
They have to win. And that's a good chance for Villa. Spurs really can't get out of their own half here. And 2 minutes gone in the second half.
Can I give you some stats of that first half, Philip?
I saw them. Read them out. Yeah, read them out.
Yeah. Shots on target, 2 from Villa, none from Tottenham. Shots off target, 2 from Villa, none from Tottenham. Possession, 56 possession for Villa, 44 possession for Tottenham. Corner kick, 6 for Villa, none for us. Did we actually turn up in the first half, or did we actually come out?
Yeah, we did actually. We were caught offside 5 times. It probably tells you that every time the ball went forward, Sonny was too far forward. I think it was Son nearly every time. It was Richarlison did nothing in the first half at all. Absolutely nothing. And Harry Kane was anonymous as well. The I was saying to Brad there when you went, Oliver Skip is getting the baptism of fire. He's been roasted in midfield.
Are you around later, Philip? Are you busy later?
I don't know yet, though. No, to be honest, I don't know.
I just fancied covering the Luton game afterwards, just for.
I'll tell you, I'd hardly get away with it. To be honest with you, I think the missus will probably have a fit. You know.
I thought you were on your own this weekend. I thought.
No, God, no. I think I'll have to pass on it because I have things that I need to do anyway. So you know. I don't think the missus will allow me to go another.
Well, look, if Luton get to the final, that's definitely a game we'll
cover. We'll do that one all right. Absolutely, yeah.
But they're just bringing up Erling Haaland's records this season, right? This is unreal. Most goals scored by a player in the single Premier League season. Most goals scored by a Man City player in the single season. Most goals scored by a Premier League player in all competitions in a single season. First player to score a hat-trick in 3 consecutive home matches in a Premier League season, and there was one other, and it's gone off. Out of him and Harry Kane, Philip, right? If Harry Kane and him were playing together in the same team, would that be the most lethal partnership in world football?
It probably would be, but the thing about it is they might get in each other's way a bit, you know. Although Haaland doesn't drop back to get the ball, Haaland just stays up there. You know,
Kane just
Kane will try. Kane is a more complete footballer. You know, but for putting the ball in the net, Haaland, he's a freak. He really is a freak.
Did you see his father the weekend chucking peanuts and nuts when they were playing?
He got escorted out of the ground for doing that.
He did.
He did.
Do you know what? I can see Real Madrid beating Man City. I don't know why. I hope Man City do it because of the Premier League football, and you know it'd be great for English football if Man City got to their second of Champions League final. But I just think it's Madrid's names on the cup this year. The way they've been bashing teams away in the Champions League, it's just.
I would like for Luka Modric to get a trophy. I think Luka Modric deserves another Champions League. I mean, that guy's a phenomenon. He really is.
It is. I've bought him on my FIFA. I bought him back at Tottenham, and he actually came to me. He actually came to Tottenham, so I've got him playing in my Tottenham Champions, which I will be starting the FIFA Thfc till I die. FIFA content will be back on your screens in the next day or so. But watch out for that. Ellie's been begging me to bring them back on at 10 o'clock at night. She says they're good fun to watch. So
there's a guy on BT Sports with long hair and a beard.
I thought that was you 20 years ago, Brad.
I just wondered who it is. 'Cause
Another
it
shot
doesn't,
on target from Villa.
it doesn't look like anyone I know. I mean, obviously people like Robbie Savage and oh, there's been a goal at Chelsea. This is interesting.
Please make it Forest. Please make it
No,
Forest.
Raheem
Please make
Sterling has scored for Chelsea. It's now Chelsea
geez.
1, Nottingham Forest 1. So
Fred
that
can have
will change the table somewhat.
2 more shots on target for Villa. Good save by Foster.
How bad are we playing, Philip?
We're not playing that badly. We're just not letting up. I don't know what it is. We're just not. I don't know. It's hard to put a word in it.
I
Villa-
heard
Villa-
somebody say in another stream that looks like we've been injected with horse tranquilizers. That our
Well,
legs ain't moving.
we're not. Villa are obviously the dominant team, but they put the Spurs defense is playing. Oh, come on! Oh, Harry! Oh, Jesus! We should have Harry Kane hit it straight to the goalkeeper. We should be one each. We should be one each.
There was silence from Leitrim there. We thought.
Oh my God! That was a bad move. We actually opened them up for the first time, and now we have a shot on target. Now Royale going down the right, good cross. Oh, stopped. That's more like it, Tottenham.
Yeah.
Dermot must have heard you about the horse tranquilizers because they actually went for something. That bloody Martinez fella. Harry should have scored though. He was clean through.
I'm saying again, I would love him as our goalkeeper, Martinez. I know he's ex-Arsenal, but I would love him and have Bazuma as his backup and start. I think it'd be a good combination. Just a quick Premier League updates. Leeds 2, Newcastle 2 from earlier. Chelsea 1, who just equalised. Forest 1, Man United still 1-0 up against Wolves. Villa, of course, are 1-0 up against us. Phillips covering that game.
After booking Oliver Skip for an innocuous tackle, Skippy wants to go off. He's completely out of his depth in this match.
And Crystal Palace are 1-0 up against Bournemouth. And, of course, Southampton, if they lose today, will be relegated. Now, this is the bottom lot. Now, West Ham, 37 points, we think we're safe. Forest would be on 34. Everton, 32. I wish they'd leave it up more so I can see. Leeds on 32. And I think the next team below them are on 31. And then Southampton, who will be relegated today if they lose. I'll start with you, Philip, then go to Brad. Is there any players at the Southampton side you'll go for in summer, Philip?
Yeah.
Apart from the obvious.
The goalkeeper. And maybe Ward Prowse as well.
Brad, would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Ward Prowse has been a good player for Southampton throughout the years. He's been very consistent and a decent free kick taker as well, which we haven't had since Ericsson. So I certainly wouldn't be opposed. But you know what will happen? They'll put a 50 million price tag on him, and we won't pay the money. So
we'll go in with about 40
yeah,
pound 50 cent.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. It's
and if they are want more, we might go up to €45.
Yeah,
and we're throwing a bag of crisps as well. Just
free skywalk.
That's it. Look,
Romero's having a great game for Spurs.
Yeah. Are they playing the back four again, Philip?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Do you think? Right, I want to ask you a question on that, Philip. Do you think we played well against Crystal Palace? Though the game was a hard watch, we both admitted that, and he's playing well today. Is it because he's playing with a competent defender next to him? Do you think he feels comfortable?
Well, go on, say it. There's no Eric Dyer in the squad. We know that's what you mean, Dermot. Yeah.
He must look at the bench, right? Eric Dyer's on the bench, and he's thinking, right, Longley, like last week.
He's not even on the bench.
No, but I'm just saying last week, right? He's saying, he's saying to Longley, do not get injured. Do not get injured. And then he pops his arm out, right? And then he sees Eric Dyer come on. You can see his pressure going, holy fuck. Oh, God, here we go again. And then Dyer's not even on the pitch 5 minutes and Palace then they score.
Yeah.
We've got whoever comes in as our manager and director of football has got a massive job. What do you think of it?
Yeah.
We've got, 9 players out on loan, of which you'd probably take 2 of them back.
Yeah. Corner of Spurs. Spurs got their first corner.
And, of course, next week we will be doing the watch-along for the Tottenham game. It is a 12 o'clock kickoff or half 12 kickoff. It's live, of course, on BT, but we will be covering the match here. myself, Philip, maybe Ellie, maybe Brad will join us.
It could. I can't next week. It could get very messy at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because if they're showing the women's game, I'm presuming it means they're going to have all the bars open until the end of the women's game. And one of my dear friends, Martin, he doesn't normally come for a drink with me and my other friend Steve after the game because he goes home. But because it's an early kickoff in the last home game, he's going to join us for a drink next week. So I'm presuming that we'll be in the bar, probably watching the women's game from the bar. Sorry, Ellie, but
Spurs putting a good bit of pressure on here now. It's more like it.
Because how sad are you to say Southampton go down just as a Premier League, forget Tottenham for one side. I know it's hard, but just put it. Are you sad to see Southampton go down as a club they were?
I have absolutely no feelings about them at all.
No, but what I mean, they were. How you look how badly they've been run. You look how badly Everton have been run. Would you be more sad to see Everton go down more than Southampton?
I would be, I think I'd be sad to see Everton go down. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I think they're a good, well-run team. Plus, they have Seamus Coleman playing for them now. I always like anything Seamus Coleman plays.
And I'm just sad because of Bazuma as well going down to Southampton.
But he's only there one season. He's not as if he's been there all his career, so he'll get over it. And
you, Philip, Brad, I mean, do you know Southampton over the years? They had Kevin Keegan. They won. Laurie Manama. What's his name? Laurie Manama was their manager.
I can't say. The only thing I would say is the fact that it's one of the away games that I can get tickets for if I apply for tickets, and it's a reasonably easy ground to get to from where I live. And there's a decent pub that all the Tottenham supporters go to near the station, which is good as well. So to be sad from that respect. I've also got a mate who's a massive Southampton fan. But Everton, when I was a kid, Everton were my second team for some reason. And
they were mine too, actually, as a young lad.
Yeah, I've no idea why. Maybe it's because of the Tottenham Arsenal rivalry. Although in those years we weren't really the underdogs to Arsenal, whereas we were in, say, the early 90s and sort of early 2000s. But for some reason I wanted they were my second team. So
I think when I was younger, I always had the soft
another goal.
I know. Where's that going, Brad?
Now Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 0, and Eze has scored again.
Well, he did get his second goal at last. In the right universe.
In the right game. He got it in the right game this time.
Not in the parallel universe. But no, years ago, Liverpool.
Sonny boy, Jesus Christ!
I always had the soft spot for the Merseyside.
Sorry, another goal at Stamford Bridge. It's now Chelsea 2. And again, it's Raheem Sterling. So it's a day of players getting 2 goals.
Forrest, could you have not made my day even happier just by beating Chelsea? Fat Frank's going to get 2 wins in a row.
You tell it in my voice.
That's time for everything, I suppose.
I'm past airing now.
They'd be shouting for him to get the job full time now.
Jeez, it's tight to the bottom now. I mean, Leicester 30 points, Leeds 31, Everton 32, Forest now 33.
Do you know what? The last day of the season around the grounds is going to be fun doing the relegation thing.
Kulusevski's about to come on for Tottenham anyway.
Philip, won't it? That would be an
exciting.
It
will.
That'd be good.
Hang on, someone else coming on as well. Is it Papa Sarr? Hold on. There's 2 Spurs making a double change anyway.
Look, I was saying, look, as a kid, I always had a soft spot for the Merseyside clubs, I think, because especially after Hillsborough, you had a sort of soft spot for Liverpool for a few years before they got a bit cocky and before they got a bit bigger themselves. But I think the most memorable game I ever watched for non-Tottenham was the Champions League final against AC Milan when they were 3-0 down.
Oh.
And they came back to 3-3. And I think it's the only time in my entire life where I was actually egging on Liverpool to get back in. Because once Gerrard scored, you knew he never played well for England. He could drag a team in, couldn't he, as a captain? And so the question I'm trying to ask is, if you could pick any previous captain to come into Tottenham, and you had 3 captains you could pick from the years you've been following football, right? Who would you pick? And I'll go with you, Philip, first. Or do you want time to think about that?
From any other club to bring in the Spurs.
If you could pick 3 previous captains, you got 3 captains to pick from any football club around the world that you've watched over the years, who would you be? Who would you pick bringing to the team?
Oh God! Just before I say that, Richarlison and Skip have gone off, and Bazuma and Kulichevsky have come on.
Bazuma.
Change of formation, do you think, Philip?
No, don't think so. Well, maybe Kulichevsky might drop more back into midfield. Richarlison doesn't look too happy, mind you, he never does. Well, let's see, captain. I'll tell you one captain that I would love to, and he should have come to Spurs. It's Bobby Moore.
Really?
He should, yeah. Bobby Moore. I think Jimmy Greaves, as Jimmy Greaves says in autobiography, Bobby Moore got me into more trouble in my career than anybody else. Bobby Moore liked a good drink as well, you know.
Had hollow legs, didn't he? Hollow legs.
Yeah, but what a player, though. What a player, you know.
Do you really would love to see him at Tottenham?
Yeah, I would have done, yeah.
That surprises me.
Absolutely. No, I would have. Yeah.
I would. I'm not sure if he was captain, but the two players definitely would be Steven Gerrard at his best, and also Roy Keane at his best.
Yeah, that's who I'd love to see.
What a midfielder!
Yeah, Roy Keane would have been a good one.
Would you take Roy Keane as a coach at Tottenham? Do you think if somebody offered him to come in the coach,
there's been another goal. There's a goal at Stamford Bridge again. It's now 2-2.
Come on, Forrest.
Awoniyi, the score.
That's his second goal as well, by the way, Brad.
2-2.
Crazy day.
Yeah.
I tell you, Roy Keane, for me, I would love him at Spurs.
Yeah, I would too.
He's a Tottenham supporter. As a boy, he was a Tottenham supporter.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell you one thing. I know, Philip, you may criticise me for this.
Sonny missed again. Jesus Christ, son. He was offside, but he missed. He was clean through on the goalkeeper, and he almost hit the corner flag.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, at least we're getting clean through. That's
a good sign.
Villa are playing a very high line. But Sonny, he should be watching that. Really. He should be watching that. Oh, for God's sake, it's a yard offside. But we're playing much better the second half. We're playing much better the second half.
You may criticise me for this, Philip, but Roy Keane and Martin O'Neill, I think, did a great job as Ireland manager and assistant manager.
Oh, they did, yeah. Absolutely.
The football was boring.
Yeah.
But you can never beat Big Jack's Island sides, I'm telling you. Those were the days.
Beat the Irish. Come on, Højbjerg.
No, that's it. Well, it took England 33 years to beat us, and we had to be absolutely...
That was the era, and I'm only joking, guys. I'm only joking here. That was the era where if you knew how to spell Ireland, you'd get in the team, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
It was the FAI area. Find another Irishman.
Yeah, I tell you a funny story, right? Jack Charlton went to Oxford United to watch John Aldridge, right? To get him, that's going to come and play for Ireland. So anyway, Aldridge and Ray Houghton are both playing. And of course, Ray Houghton has an absolute blinder of a game, and John Aldridge scored a couple for Oxford. So anyway, so Jack Charlton's talking to John Aldridge in the thing. Do you want to come play for Ireland? John said, yeah, I'll come play for you, Jack. Yeah, no problem. And he says to him, what about that fella over there? Is there any Irish in him? This is Ray Houghton he's pointing to, right? Because Ray Houghton stands from Donegal on the Irish side, not on the north side.
Oh, Harry. Oh, just missed. No, Kulichevsky. Sorry, I couldn't jump across. Just missed.
So he goes over and he says to Ray Houghton, do you want to come play for Ireland? He says, well, he said, I've got to speak to my family, he says first and all that. So he goes and speaks to his family. Yeah, I'll come and play for you. So he went looking at one player and he left with the second player who actually scores the winner against you in 88. Yeah, and scored the winner for us against Italy in 94.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That was the goal he scored against you, Brad, England, in 88 was his first ever headed goal.
Was it? That sounds about right. Mind you, that England team was the team that left Hoddle on the bench until I think the last game that they played, and they brought Hoddle on, and Hoddle was just immense, absolutely brilliant. And I always often wonder if they'd have played Hoddle from the start, we would have done better in that tournament. That was a tournament when England had a very strong team. That was a team when you had players like Hoddle, Barnes at the top of their game.
And you also had the Dutch side. I mean, we nearly qualified for the semi-finals.
Mm.
And there was a story going on, and we lost the semi-final because I think the Dutch, I forget who beat, was it Russia beat us 1-0?
No,
Can't remember.
It's Italy.
Yeah, because it was Ireland, England, the Dutch and Russia was in the group, wasn't it?
in the 88 group.
Oh yeah, it's just, I was thinking of the 90s. Sorry.
And the fella that went down to the FAI sort of man was there, and he was saying like to his colleagues, "Well, thank for that." He says, "Why?" He says, "Why you?" He said, "Well," he said, "if we had won," he says, "and qualified, we had no money to go and get another hotel." He says, "We're a skin."
Oh jeez. Oh god.
And that was Mick Byrne saying that. And Mick Byrne, as Philip knows, Mick Byrne is such a funny character anyway.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, I mean they were the good old days for Irish football.
It's when they went to when Jack Charlton with the Ireland team went to the Vatican to see the Pope. Right. And he says this on the Late Show. He's at Gay Byrne interview, which is a very popular talk show over here in Ireland. It's been running since Jesus was a baby, to be fair. It's been running that long, and they're looking for a new host. I think they should change the format, but Philip will probably shoot me up.
I think they should get rid of it, to be honest.
That's the first person ever said to get rid of it.
No, it's outlived its usefulness now.
Yeah. That England squad, I don't know what team was that played Ireland. That England squad had Peter Shilton in goal. You had Tony Adams, who, despite what we think, wasn't a bad defender. You had Glenn Hoddle, John Barnes at his pomp, Brian Robson, Chris Waddle, Gary Lineker, and Peter Beardsley. We couldn't win a game in the knockout in the group stages. I think it was Beardsley, Barnes, and Lineker up front.
Yeah, I give you the Irish team. Actually, was Bonner in goal, Morris Houghton, McCarthy Moron, Whelan McGrath, Houghton, Ray Houghton, Aldridge, Stapleton, who was captain, and Tony Galvin. And then so Stapleton was captain, and then the substitutes was Sheedy, Payton, Byrne, Anderson, Quinn.
Oh, here we go. The team against Ireland was Shilton, Gary Stevens, Tony Adams, Mark Wright, Kenny Sampson, Chris Waddle, Neil Webb. That was the one that took Hoddle's place. Should never have got anywhere near an England team. Brian Robson, John Barnes, Peter Beardsley, and Gary Lineker. And yet we couldn't win a game in that tournament. I remember at the time I was in Australia. I remember looking forward to it so much because we all thought, we've got a team. What a team we've got. We're going to win this. But
and then the best team in Europe then comes and sort of knocks you on the shoulder to say, well, you couldn't beat us 100 years ago and you still can't beat us.
And this I don't remember. The Netherlands lost their first game against the Soviet Union 1-0.
They did, yeah.
And they went on to win it. Yeah.
That was sort of my first major tournament I really remember as a kid. That 8-8 final. But all I remember is that final was Ruud Hullets or Marco van Basten.
Yeah, Van Basten, Ruud Hullet. John Bosman, interestingly. I wonder if that was John Bosman that caused the transfer.
Yeah,
it was.
Arnold Muren.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frank Rijkaard. Ronald Koeman.
Yeah.
That's some decent players as well.
Right. I don't know if we're going to get copyrighted for this, but I found that actually. Hang on. I've actually found something. So hopefully it's only 28 seconds. Is it anything under 30 seconds? We're fine, is it, Philip?
20 seconds. It's 20 seconds.
All right. Well, here we go. I'll just show something. Something for.
There's a goal. It's now Southampton 0, Fulham 2.
Yeah. Well, Southampton gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go, Brad. This is just for you. I thought I'd just play it down memory lane for you. So here we go.
I was around my mate's house in the evening.
There you go.
Crazy goal. Crazy.
I thought it might bring a bit of cheer to this stream.
Crazy tournament that was.
I noticed you were very quiet through that, Philip.
I'm watching Romero did a brilliant tackle on the Villa player, but the referee gave a free kick just outside their area. Yeah. And Romero was not one bit pleased. I mean, the referee is very poor today, I have to say. He's very
you also had Tony Cascarino in your squad in those days as well.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'd just like to go through the Premier League scores. Leeds 2, Newcastle 2 was the result from earlier. Chelsea 2, Forest 2, Man United 1, Wolves 0, Villa 1, Tottenham 0. Villa, Tottenham can't lose today. Today, if we got a result, we would have got guaranteed European football. Then Palace 2, Bournemouth 0, and of course Southampton are going down
2-0 to Villa.
Oh, for God's sake.
That free kick that was never a free kick, they scored from it.
Douglas Luiz.
I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, sorry, ref, but that was never a free kick. We have about eight players in there.
So Tottenham have had a lot of the play and missed
Against
chances.
the run of play. It's against the run of play. Spurs have been a better team.
So Conference League it is then, guys.
Do you know what? I if it is the Conference League,
Jesus Christ, Fraser Foster. I would have saved that one myself.
Right, describe the goal then.
Really?
Free kick, 25 yards out. Foster seems to get his angles wrong, and he goes for it too late and pushes it into the net.
Well, in fairness to Fraser Foster, he's done fairly well this season.
Yeah, but that's a bad mistake.
With this around the grounds, please let us know how you would like us to change it for next season, because I've got an idea how to change it for next season. Yeah,
Tottenham might win a few matches.
What I might do for next season is have Philip. I want to do it like how they do it at Sky Sports. So have a few more people just covering.
He's too far across. Oh, he's too far across.
Me and Brad doing all the scores from around the ground. So that's something we may change for next season. But I enjoy doing these around the grounds because we could talk about anything and anything. It goes in any direction.
And can we sign Gavin Bazuma this evening now? Fraser Foster was 2 yards too far over to get that ball.
And also, Notts County are 1-0 down to Chesterfield in the Conference League playoff final. So Chesterfield look to be joining Wrexham.
Well, there we go. Spurs and Villa.
Sorry, go on, Brad. No, go on, Brad.
Spurs and Villa, if the result stays the same, or the score Spurs and Villa.
Records.
Yeah, played 36, won 17, drawn 6, lost 13, goal difference of 5, 57 points. Both identical. And I'll tell you what, I don't relish playing Brentford next week or going to Leeds if Leeds
especially Leeds.
need to stay up.
Anyway, anyone watching Eurovision tonight?
No.
Yeah, I've got my beers in. I'm going on Kuvan the Gang at 11.
Oh, no, offside. Kulichevsky, you're watching along the line. Oh.
I just love watching Philip's reaction. And then for me, I'm just sitting back loving it. It's so funny.
And we don't really deserve to be behind in the second half. We played pretty well, you know.
Anyway, Dundee, Ross County have gone 3-0 against Dundee United. John White.
That's made my day.
I know you're being sarcastic, Philip, but
yeah, I know I am.
It is cool. Yeah. Anyway.
Come on, Spurs. Got to go back. Make a fight of it for the last 20 minutes or so.
I'll tell you one thing, Brad. The Chelsea Forest game is on the knife edge, isn't it?
2-2, yeah.
Hang on. Someone's actually going down with a bad injury here for Spurs and Villa. Who is it? Longley again. I think Longley's complaining the Villa player went for him. Spurs could be in the position that we could win our last two matches and still not qualify for Europe. Because
how big of a disappointment?
Brighton.
That's the team. But how big of a disappointment would it be for you, Philip, if we don't qualify for Europe?
It's shocking. We had our best start ever to a Premiership season and finish outside Europe, and it'll not help in the search for a new manager either.
Well, would any manager see it as a challenge to get us back to where we were? Tottenham's still a big club, but it was still a big name.
I know we are, but remember Arsenal had a season out of Europe and didn't do them much good, really.
We haven't got a bad team. That's the problem. The team's not a bad team. It's got some bad players, but the team overall is not a bad team. I mean, obviously, 38 game season, you end up where you end up, and that's how good you are. But I don't think it's not like we've just escaped relegation and we got a really, really, really bad team. And it's a team that until a few weeks ago was going for the top four. So it's not a bad team. And I think it just needs. It just needs the whole club just needs to turn around. They just need and a manager can do that. A manager can do that. It might take time. We've got to be patient now.
There's nothing wrong with our attack today. I think that's the 8th time now we've been caught offside. We're not timing any runs.
That's what 7. That's 13 goals in our last 3 away games.
And do you know what's going to really?
12 goals. Sorry.
Do you know where's going to put the kicker in for me? That we could end up not even qualifying for Europe, right? And being out of Europe. Arsenal could qualify for the Champions League and West Ham could win the UEFA Conference League.
West Ham were fortunate the other night. I don't think they'll get away with it in Holland somehow.
No. I can see it being the West Ham Fiorentina. I mean, Basel beat Fiorentina in the other semi-final, which really was a shock for me. Look, if we do get Conference League, it's a tournament we should really go for, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to go now. Come on, Kulu. Come on.
So I'm looking at the scoreboard here, which will go up.
Yeah. You got it on Sky or BT, Brad?
I got BT.
Yeah.
Only because I have the actual all of the scores in the corner.
Yeah. They're changing their name, BT Sport, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it?
What they're changing it to?
Yeah, they've been
TMT.
they've been taken over. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the Premier League rights are up for grabs, and I think a lot of the more Premier League games are going to go more into BT Sport and onto Amazon are looking to take over the Sky rights for the Premier League.
Ooh.
Right.
Although I think haven't Sky got it for a few years anyway?
No, it comes up next season.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
BBC apparently are going for the F1 rights again. They want to get F1 back on the BBC.
Look, the Champions League, say next season.
Oh, that's another thing, Brad. Champions League is going on BBC from next season.
All right. Wow.
So,
can you see this guy? He's gone. Sorry.
Him, that fella there. Put him on the TV again there, Brad, if you can.
He's sitting, that guy. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Who is that?
He looks like a 1970 music star, like from Genesis or something like that.
I'm trying to think who he is. But going back to next season.
Yeah.
Look at the 3 European competitions. There's no way in the world we're going to win the Champions League.
No.
Okay. So that's great. The Europa League, I don't think we've got a chance of winning that either.
No.
I don't think we're good enough. The Conference League, however, I think if we put our strongest team in those games and actually took it seriously, that's a tournament we could win. And I think if we get Conference League football next season, we forget about where we're going to finish. So we've got a new manager. We got it set where we're going to finish in the first part of the season, and just set where we finish, be it top 6, top 7, top 8, whatever, and just go and win that trophy, get that monkey off our back.
Yeah.
It's.
Sorry, Brad. Yeah, you're right. But you look at the Seville Juventus game the other night, Europa League. How well do you think Brian Hill played that night? Just quick, I don't know if you both saw it, but I thought I thought Brian Hill played quite well actually in that.
Brian was a decent player. I think he's. But the thing is, I think he's suited to European football a lot better than he is to English football.
Yeah.
It's a different Premier League, especially the Premier League. It's a different game. It's a totally different game. And skillful players like Brian Hill, especially if you're as slightly built as Brian Hill, will do a lot better playing in European leagues where there's not that physicality. Maybe the exception might be Italy and maybe Germany, but I think generally speaking, I don't think he's suited for the Premiership. He is a decent player. If he was half a foot taller and maybe 6 inches wider, I think he'd be a very, very good player.
You're huffing and puffing there, Philip. Is it that bad?
Dan Zuma's after coming on for Pedro Porro. We're huffing and puffing. Poor Sonny has had a nightmare today. Absolute freaking nightmare. He's offside again. He gives the ball away with monotonous regularity. And then when he's through on goal, he nearly hits the corner flag. He's having one of them days. He was there last season. He got a hat-trick. He couldn't score, I don't know, today. If he an open goal, you miss it.
And out of our form in the last 3 or 4 games, his form actually hasn't been too bad. He's actually
Today now he's gone back to the type. He's gone really, really poor today. I'm surprised he's still on the pitch now, to be honest. We're leaving gaps here in the back as well. That's what we have to, but
let's see now.
Kulichevsky's done well since he came on, but he seems to have lost that quarter yard of pace that he had last season.
He had a hamstring injury, didn't he? I think, which I think really, really. I'll tell you what. When I pulled my hamstring a few years ago playing in a charity cricket match, going for a quick single, and it just snapped.
I was going to say, how'd you pull it? I was playing cricket. Carry on.
I got run out because the goal was wobbling to the other end. But I'll tell you what, when you're recovering from it, and I used to walk to work, you feel every bump on that pavement when you got a hamstring problem.
Oh,
you really do. So it's a very difficult injury to overcome, and not only the physical side but the mental side. So I think with Kulichevsky and for that matter, Sessegnon, I think their pace will be the one thing that they'll go, and until they got their confidence back. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I couldn't take part. I couldn't field when we played the other game. I think I did score 1 run anyway. I got out for a 1. So
very good. Very good.
Better than getting out for a duck.
There's a picture of me with a front 4 defensive, textbook style defensive. The only problem is the ball's over there somewhere.
So, Brad, will you be called up for the Ashes, do you think?
I'm still waiting. You never know.
Never know. Philip, look, we've got 9 minutes left. What's your overall view of
if we get a goal back, I think we'll make a fight of it in the last 10 minutes. We just need to get a break. Get something to go for. And Son's taking the corner. So this will probably go in the back of the stand.
Have we...
Goalkeeper, good goalkeeper. And that Martinez is playing well now, I have to say. Because now he's gone down like he's been shot after collecting the ball, you know.
Yeah. You look frustrated, Philip, if I say anything watching.
I am frustrated because we played worse and lost. We played worse this season and got something out of it, you know. But I mean, you can't legislate for a goalkeeping mistake in that second goal.
The Liverpool game, apart from the first 15 minutes, I thought we were, certainly in that game. There weren't a lot between the two teams. I thought Liverpool very poor. But then again, if you're 3-0 up, you relax, I suppose. So
yeah, that's true. Oh, Jesus Christ, come on. Another free kick. God almighty.
1 more home game to go. Then Leeds. Leeds is on a Sunday, isn't it, I think?
Yeah.
All games are on a Sunday. I'll tell you one thing, that if that Leeds atmosphere is anything like it was today, I'll tell you, it went from sublime to the ridiculous. When they were losing, the atmosphere was toxic, absolutely toxic. But when they equalised, it just changed completely. So we need to get a goal early against them to make the atmosphere toxic.
And that game we will be covering live here on THFC that final league game against Leeds, but we also will be covering the rest of the relegation, because that relegation battle at the end of the season is going to be any one of 4 teams could go down. Yeah. Which is it any one of 4, Brand, or is it any one of 5?
I think so. Yeah, I think
there's one of 4. Yeah. Leicester, Forest, Everton, Leeds.
If Everton lose heavily tomorrow, which I think they will do against Man City, I think that would knock the stuffing out of them.
Might do, might.
Well, that would give them if they get a point, that gives them a 2.
Penalty has to be. Oh, referee, that's a penalty. Fucking goalkeeper cleans out Harry Kane. Or is it Kulichevsky? And the referee gives a call. It's Harry Kane. And the goalie looks to get Harry Kane booked. You fucking Arsenal reject you. Right, don't want him at the club anymore. He fucking cleaned Harry Kane out of here. Now, VAR's got to be looking at that.
Well, if VAR is worth anything, then they should be given that penalty.
The goalie comes straight into Harry Kane and he gives a corner. Look at this, man. Look at this.
Kane played that well. He's acting.
He's not, mate. The goalie caught him. That's a penalty.
It's been reviewed by VAR, by the way.
Yeah, it has to be reviewed by VAR.
Reviewed by VAR.
which means we won't get anything.
What VAR means anti. What does VAR stand for?
Oh, he definitely catches him. That's got to be a penalty. Look, he does. His momentum takes him into him. Look there now. Got him. My wife is disagreeing with me here.
I know, I can hear. It's quite funny.
Kane has to go somewhere. He can't jump out of the stadium.
Oh dear, I love that.
This could be crucial now.
Oh dear. Do you think we might put Mary on the VAR for you, Philip?
No, we'd never get anything if that happened.
Oh,
Taking their time over it.
Maybe the referee's thinking, "What drink shall I have tonight?" Or what brown paper has the brown paper envelope come into the VAR room yet from the Villa people? You know.
But the Villa goalie looking brandishing the imaginary yellow card.
South American players do that a lot, Philip.
They do, I know that, but he's ex-Arsenal, so that's why I'm getting at him. Hang on now, here it comes. Oh, here it comes.
Is he gone looking at the screen?
Yeah, he's going to look at the screen, which normally means you get a penalty.
Which normally means the goalkeeper might be sent off.
It could be. Yeah, well, no, he wasn't denying a goal. He wasn't really denying a goal.
Well, he's the next Arsenal goalkeeper, so why not? Any word, Philip?
No, he's coming back now. He's coming back now.
Well, Shamu says the pen's been given.
Yeah, he's giving it. Yeah, he's giving it. Mary, he gave the penalty. You were wrong.
You're a brave man.
Now send off that fucking goalkeeper now as well while you're at it.
Yes. If anyone wonders where Philip has, if he's not on the next screen, we will send out a search party for him.
Another chance for Harry Kane to go near with a 30 mark.
Oh Lord. Yeah, we will send a search party up to Leitrim.
Now, Harry, please don't do a France on this one. Put it in the back of the net.
Well, if he does, it's a point. So that's a good thing.
He hasn't taken it yet. Yeah. He scores it. It's come ahead of me. He scores it.
Got into injury time. How much injury time, Philip?
Hang on. Where's Fred? Where's Fred?
9 minutes with a bit of luck.
Here's Fred. Here's Harry Kane.
Come on, Harry boy.
Here's Philip's reaction after Harry Kane scored the goal. As Mrs. Brady looking at them thinking there still wasn't a penalty, Philip. I'm sorry. I'm still disagreeing. It still wasn't a penalty.
Oh, Jesus, you don't stop them. Oh, fuck me, right in the corner. Brilliant.
Yeah. You can imagine dinner time will be interesting tonight talking about that penalty. Philip be using the salt and pepper and he'd be using the ketchup.
Well, Martinez deserves that because I wouldn't have been so hard on him, but he starts going like this, after the thing. But that's a sign he knew well he'd fouled.
Yeah, well, it's come up in the 90th minute. So how much injury time
hasn't come up yet? Brilliant penalty though, absolutely superb penalty. Martinez wouldn't have saved that in a week.
Is that our first shot on target?
No, we've had a couple more.
Oh, okay.
Now there are. Let's see how many minutes injury time. They're wasting time now making substitutions. Dracula's getting worried.
I'm surprised he's out with the sunlight.
That's true. Perisic is on for Tottenham.
Who's come off?
For 6 minutes of injury time. I don't know who's come off yet. It hasn't come up on the screen. Let's see.
Tottenham scored again, Philip.
No.
I actually looked up then. I actually looked up at the screen.
Same here. When Philip's watch or phone goes off, I swear to God, Tottenham will
There's a bloody rugby score coming in from somebody.
So, look, we'll go quickly over the Premier League scores very quickly. Chelsea 2-2. Think Forest are safe, guys? Or is it they need another?
Not yet. A good result for them, though, to go to Chelsea and get a draw. Very good result.
Man United. Man United, the one up against Wolves. should be a win there, shouldn't it?
Should be, yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. I apologise. Aston Villa 2, the anti-Arsenal Brigade 2, Tottenham 1. Tottenham should be getting the equaliser soon.
Ben Davis has gone off and Perisic has come on.
Right. Palace, Bournemouth, do you think? Good win.
Yes.
Think Palace are safe now?
Palace are safe long ago, yeah.
And then, of course, Southampton and Fulham have gone down. Do you know this would be Fulham's best Premier League season ever?
Yeah,
Really?
they've done well.
Yeah.
They've done
I
well.
have done very well, yeah.
The Spartans have equalised. It's full time. The Spartans won. Albion Rovers won. What a name, the Spartans.
Yeah, a bit harsh that he beheaded that goalkeeper, though.
It is a bit harsh, Brad. Yeah, I do agree with you on that.
Unfortunately, they don't have VAR in the Scottish League 2
No,
or whatever
they
it is.
And Strasbourg,
They barely have goalposts.
Strasbourg sounds like a Bond villain at one of the Bond films. They'll want an up against Nice.
Now, come on, Kulu.
And Dumbarton, nil. Anna Athletic, nil. That sounds like something like Harry Potter. Dumbledore nil against Anna something one.
Speaking of which, they've been replaying Ripping Yarns on the BBC.
Oh, have they? Oh, that's brilliant series.
So they had the one with Barnstoneworth.
Barnstoneworth United.
That's
Brilliant.
classic.
Oh, I love that one. That really is. You want to keep her body over the best clock in the mantelpiece, and now comes home. Oh, it's classic.
We got Sky put in the other day, right? And for about 24 hours, all we had was English channels. So of course we had BBC One, BBC Two, ITV. We can't get any British channels here in Ireland because of Brexit.
All right.
And
Well, that'd be right, yeah.
yeah,
That's
it would be.
such a great decision that we made.
Can I just announce Southampton have now been officially relegated from the Premier League?
Yeah.
Right.
So Southampton are relegated.
No, I'm sorry, we haven't time.
No, have your time. No.
Oh, come on. Oh, Kulu. Fucking blasted at 100 miles over the bar.
I think
Well, we're still pressing.
That puts Southampton out of their misery now.
Do you realise that I've done this show 4 times when Tottenham have been playing? And Man United have scored against Wolves, by the way.
Yeah, I did see that.
And it's been Leicester 4, Tottenham 1, Wolves 1, Tottenham 0, Southampton 3, Tottenham 3, and now Aston Villa 2, Tottenham 1, which who knows, maybe it might not end up that way, but it looks like it's going to.
So it's going to. But at least we'll be ahead of them still on goal difference anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
We have to win the next 2 matches, lads. That's just it.
Yeah, I tell you, I've missed Ballybrig Rovers. We haven't seen them today. They must have packed up for this.
Bonnybrig.
They must have, yeah.
Yeah, they must have packed up for the season. Man United have just scored, and Fulham, Southampton relegated. That's a full time. Fulham 2, Southampton 0. Bye-bye, Southampton. Thank you for being in the Premier League. Enjoy the Championship. Man United, it's Garcia has scored the second goal for Manchester United.
Still Chesterfield 1, Notts County 0 with 62 minutes gone.
I tell
That's
you
the
one
first
thing.
leg, isn't it? That.
Yeah.
No, it's the final.
Final.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Tell you, Jose Mourinho could actually win 2 European titles back to back if Roma win their second semi-final and their final.
That's true. That's true.
Don't think he's ever done that before in his managerial career.
Yeah.
Well, no
He's won a
teams.
lot, hasn't he?
Well,
Won a
no
lot.
teams ever won the Europa League and the Champions League back to back. So this would be the first time any teams won one competition to qualify for another and win that back to back. So that'd be history.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dracula really getting worried on the touchline here now. We're going
How long
past the
is
6
that, Philip?
minutes. We've gone over the 6 minutes.
Oh dear. And Patrick Athletic have beaten Queen's Park 4-0. This would be good.
I'm sure all 12 of the fans would be delighted.
Yeah. All right, that'd be a good result for Forest to get a point away at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, it would actually.
just makes the bottom even more and more.
Chelsea's finished at 2 each.
Yeah, just come up here, yeah.
Yeah, finished at Palace as well, 2-0.
So it's just us and Man United. Come on,
Yeah,
Spurs.
of course,
Get an
we're made to
equaliser.
wait.
Oh, we scored! We scored! Sonny, come on! Yes! 2 each!
Wow.
Yes! Offside!
Offside.
Hold on, this has got to go to VAR. This has got to go to VAR.
Oh, no, I don't believe it.
Should we get Mary to check it over for you, Philip?
Hold on.
dear
What do you
me.
say?
Oh dear.
Oh, my picture's fucking gone.
Shamu's saying Mole's off, by the way,
Yeah.
in the chat. So who supposedly scored it, Philip?
Sonny.
Oh,
Sonny.
But it's come up as 2-2. It hasn't gone back to 2-1 yet.
Well, it's still 2-1 on BT Sport.
it is, isn't it? Yeah. It's bizarre.
It's 2-2 on Flash Score.
I don't know who's looking after they're still talking about the Chelsea Forest game.
It's just come up full time.
Oh, corrected 2-1. Oh,
Yeah, it's
Jesus.
come up full
Christ.
time. Yeah.
And the match is over now.
Oh.
Sonny offside for the 103rd time in the game.
Oh dear. Well, look.
Right, I have to go, lads. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to
Yeah.
say, get your quick thoughts on the game, Philip.
Oh, didn't deserve to lose that second half performance, but goalkeeping error and cost us.
Yeah. Look, we will be back with more content during the week. Me and Philip may do something tomorrow or on Monday with a preview of this game within the podcast. We'll try and see if Brad wants to come on this week's podcast with us, discuss all things Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, we've lost 2-1 away. Brad, what's your final thoughts on Tottenham? And
Well, I didn't. I mean, I didn't think we'd win today.
no.
That's only based on our away form and the law of averages. Yeah. So, in a way, and I said this about the Liverpool result. In a way, the game is not. You know, if we're going to lose at Villa, it's not that. All right, people argue, it's going to mean that we could have got into the Europa League, but it's a game that you'd rather be winning at Villa if you're going for a title or something, or top four, you know.
Yeah.
And same with the Liverpool game. We'll win at Anfield one day, and I'm hoping it'll be a day that's important for us and important for them that we beat them. So, look, I'm just waiting for the season to end. I'm not losing any sleep whether we're a Europa League, Conference League, or no European football at all. I'm just waiting to see who the new manager is going to be. I just want all the players that are on loan to be sold, apart from Udogie and what's his face, Jed Spence.
Mm-hmm.
And I want some other players in the team that have been there since year dot. I'm not mentioning any names. I think you know what I'm talking about. Just to sell the players. They're not good enough. They're not good enough for Tottenham. If we need a ruthless manager. You know, what Ten Hag did, when Ten Hag did, he came in to right, Ronaldo, you're out, you know. He had the guts to do that. So until we get a manager that I'm fully behind and, you know, it fills me with optimism, I'm just sort of going to every game. I'm not even angry. No. You know, normally I'd be angry. I can't get angry anymore. Get angry at the club for their, you know, they're pissing about. But the actual results, I'm not angry anymore. I've gone past that. So,
yeah, look, it is what it is. We've lost 2-1 today, Philip. And I said to you very quickly, this was the game I was worried about.
Yeah, we're all worried about this game because Villa are the team that are in form. Now, Brighton, I'm going to say this again. I've never said this in my life before. Come on, Arsenal tomorrow because they need to beat Brighton, providing Everton lose to Man City.
Yeah, I think, Philip, when you're watching the game, your instinct will kick in.
Probably.
Well, listen, look, we're going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. I apologize for me popping in and out. As I said, I haven't been well, so I will be better, more professional for our next stream. But thank you to Philip. Thank you for Brad for holding the reins. Thank you, Philip, as well for doing last night on the thing. We will have to do a stream on that, Philip, you and me, about the manager going on to Tottenham.
Get a bit more clear, you know.
That will be a bit X-rated because that will come on to that. But listen, whatever we're doing, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Come on, you
Take
Spurs.
care. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Conference League, here we come.